think it would be really cool if they released these records, especially the early records, instrumentals, like the instrumental only stuff.
We're probably going to get like all these little fucking Fugazi cucks are going to be like, oh, well, actually, their tour in fucking 1996 was actually all instrumentals, and Ian MacKaye and Piccolo Pete actually didn't say a fucking word. So hold your horses' buttholes, relax. So yeah, I would also like to hear just like the instrumental parts, but. Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go! Hey! No, 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 hey!
This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different album from a different band and we break down the record. We find out all the secrets about the record and we let you in on those secrets. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. If you don't already know, while you're listening, go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Give us 5 stars. 5 stars only. That's all we want is 5 stars. So get off your lazy ass and go do that. Please, 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 and thank you. Also, while you're listening, you can follow us on the social medias at Asinine Radio. We have a Discord server. If you want to join that, hit us up. We'll send you the link. And we do have a phone number you can call, leave us a voicemail, leave us a voicemail, shoot us a text message. And that phone number is 503-893-5307. So get into that. Now, Jeff, now that we have the boring intros out of the way, what are we doing today?
We are doing Fugazi's album Repeater.
Now,
yeah.
Jeff.
Yep.
Done with that intro.
Yeah.
What's your origin story with the Fugazis? Go.
So I thought I had like no origin story, but it occurred to me when listening to 13 songs, what felt like weeks ago. Did we want to do Fugazi and then decide on something else and then come back to it?
Yes, we were. This was the BTS week.
Oh.
We were going to do BTS. We didn't do BTS, and then we were going to do Fugazi. And then I got through the first 3 Fugazi records, and I just thought, fuck, I can't do this. So we decided to go with something easier. I think we did the format instead. That was the week we did the format, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got through 13 songs, and a couple of the songs I remember, I know I heard them before, and it occurred to me that at camp, where most of my early musical exploration occurred, there were 2 friends. One was Alex and one was Kyle. Alex was a massive Foo Fighter fan who had tattoos on the back of his neck, like the album cover of the FF, the Foo Fighter logo.
Yeah.
And he was a huge Foo Fighter fan. And his friend Kyle was a huge Fugazi fan. Being my 9-10-year-old self, I just thought that Kyle was also a Foo Fighter fan. Therefore, all of these years, whenever Kyle would play Fugazi in the cabin and stuff during cleanup time, I always just assumed it was the Foo Fighters. Fast forward a decade, having not listened to the Foo Fighters or Fugazi, it was a trip. It was a trip listening to 13 songs and being like, holy fuck, I thought this was the Foo Fighters the whole time. Obviously, I know it's not the Foo Fighters, but it's just, I put it in the back of my mind and forgot about it for so long that when it came back on, it was weird. It was bizarre. And I can't remember Kyle's last name. I know Alex's last name, but I can't remember Kyle's last name. But I give him more credit now for not being a huge Foo Fighter fan, but being a huge Fugazi fan because it's cool to be a Foo Fighter fan, to be honest.
All right.
That's all I got for my origin story.
That's your origin story. All right. Mine was... Fuck, the first time I don't remember the first time I ever heard Fugazi. I think I probably heard it in high school. I know randomly throughout the years I've thrown on maybe a Fugazi song just to see if I like them, because I know a lot of bands I do enjoy love Fugazi, but then I always turn it off after 1 or 2 songs. So it wasn't until 3 weeks ago where I really 3-4 weeks ago when I gave it a real chance, and I text you and I'm like, I don't know if we should do this. I don't get it. It's not that great. And so then we decided to do something else, and then kind of left it on the back burner until this week when we finally decided to actually do it. And I still felt that way for the most part at the beginning. and but it grew on me over the week. It's kind of grown on me. So yeah, man, I'm very new to this Fugazi game. Like I'm very very fucking new. So who knows what we're gonna miss, and who knows how many people we might piss off. But whatever, this is Asinine Radio. That's what we do.
I don't think we'll miss much.
Sometimes
I don't think there's as much there as the mystique would allow it to believe, I guess.
True. Yeah.
This
is a band that, man, dude, they're so talked about for how influential they are, but there's like nothing written about it. It's few and far between. Outside of Ian MacKaye, who surprisingly there's not a lot written about him. There's nothing. I don't understand. It makes no sense. But people love this band. I mean,
I don't know. I guess we can get into it. First impressions and stuff, right?
Yeah. First impressions of the record. And
so first impressions, obviously, like, holy fuck, man. At the drive-in, so much here. Like, at the drive-in, so much here. Like, all over Fugazi's several first albums and releases. I was fucking surprised. But it makes sense. It does make sense. But that's cool. I like it. I dig it. I like that they did take a lot from Fugazi. There's a lot about Fugazi that is at the drive-in, like verbatim, fucking word for word. Just a little bit more eclectic in at the drive-in, but it's still the same fucking concept.
I wouldn't say more eclectic. Come on, dude.
At the drive-in?
You're just trying so hard to not. You're trying so hard to talk shit on Omar and at the drive-in.
I just gave him props. I said, what are you talking about? I literally just gave him props. I said, at the drive-in is more eclectic.
Oh, I thought you said Fugazi.
It's more out there. No,
okay.
More
I
out
thought you
there.
said
It's
Fugazi.
more
That's
spastic. It's more eclectic. It's more crazy. It's intense. Yeah, but the blueprints are there for sure.
Yeah.
But like overall first impressions, I mean, just based off all their albums, like this band wrote like 2 albums and then just did it 6 times, and like that's fine. That's cool, but to hold them in such high esteem for all of their albums is dumb. But to hold them in such high esteem for like 2 of their albums, one being Repeater, I think is fair. And Repeater's not my favorite album, not even like top 3 for me for doing the 13 songs. But I think there's something to be said about Repeater, its album as a whole. And I think Ian MacKaye, as a singer, I like him a lot. Like I love the way he sings on Fugazi. It's a little different than how he sings on Minor Threat. Just the approach is a little bit different. But I don't think Minor Threat's a bad band. I just think that the instrumentation just dumbed down punk music with cool singing. But Minor Threat's okay. That's fine. But Fugazi's fine. They're fine. They're fine. I get what they did, but they're fine. They're fine.
All right, man. I agree with you. This is one of those fucking overrated bands. Like I would say, like when we did the oh my god, what is the fucking band name? What's the band? Laura Jane Grace. Why am I?
Give me something. Oh, Against Me.
Against Me. Yeah. Fuck, I don't know why I had a brain fart on that. But yeah, Against Me. That's one band. I don't understand why people like that band. And it's kind of the same thing with Fugazi, except Fugazi is better than Against Me. There's some like really good stuff on here, but yeah, like you said, it's a lot of the same shit. It's the same record over and over again for the most part, and I don't understand why they're so influential, but they fucking are. And you're at the drive-in thing was spot on. I totally agree with you on that. And adding another band to it is Refused. Refused. I mean, you're not as big of a Refused guy as me, or at all actually. But they took so much from this band, and when I first listened to
Come like a 3 out of 3. I love that album.
No, you didn't. Fuck off.
I did. I talked about this. Yes, I did. I went back and fucking listened to it.
Not.
Yes, I did. It's an amazing album.
Shut the fuck up.
What are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you that's what I gave it.
But you would never get it on vinyl or anything.
Yes, I would.
Oh, no, of course.
I don't ever see it. I don't even see it new. Nichols never has it. Grace never has it. Yes.
I see it.
Where?
I
see it.
I see it.
I don't think you see it.
I do. I bought it from, I don't remember where I bought it from, but I bought it somewhere.
If you see it new, then yes, pick it up for me. Because honestly,
I think it's usually like $35.
$35?
I've never seen a used copy. But
holy shit, that's expensive.
Oh my god, dude.
Damn.
Anyway, yeah, Refuse take a lot from this band. And I remember when I listened to 13 songs for the first time, I thought, dude, I didn't like it. I still don't like that compilation. I think it's bad. But then I remember thinking there are bands that did this sound 100 times, 1,000 times better, and those two bands are Refused and At the Drive-In. Like they took this style and just expanded on it and just made something so great out of it. And it's cool that Fugazi inspired them, but man, dude, overall their albums are underwhelming. I like them, but they're underwhelming. Absolutely. So that's my first impression on Repeater and really this band in general.
Beat up.
I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. But let's see here. Okay, so we already played Repeater. Wait, do we have any stinkers on this album?
No, I don't have any stinkers on this album. No.
Yeah, I don't either. There are okay songs for sure.
Even your boy Piccolo, he's not at his worst on this album. He gets worse on subsequent albums, but he's not at his. I don't know why you fucking like that guy. He's
I like his vocals. I'll say it now. I like his vocals,
God, it's annoying.
I really dislike Ian's vocals. I think he is a terrible vocalist. He ruins some cool parts. He's just awful. I hate his vocals.
I'm complete opposite.
Terrible.
I think Piccolos are almost unlistenable. Every one of my bangers is a McKay song.
I mean, some of McKay's songs are my bangers. I think my 1B is a McKay song.
What song?
An Ian song.
Which one?
My one. Oh, dude, what am I drawing a blank now? It's
probably Brendan.
Oh no! It's a Pidgeotto song. It's it's C Fisted Fine.
Oh my God, that sounds okay.
That's my 1B, but that's a Pidgeotto song. But no, some of my bangers are McKay songs. But yeah, overall, dude, his vocals are terrible. But they do get a little bit better as the albums go along. But no, he's terrible.
He just has
overrated, man.
Dude, honest, no. I think like his vocals are adequately rated. If anything, they're underrated. He has a perfect aggressive punk vocal delivery. It's there. It was there in Minor Threat. It's there here. But here he elevates it a little bit to not be so snotty and snarky, and a little bit more adult, a little bit more like tough, rough around the edges. Like a guy that's been working 40 hours a week and now he's heading like a Fugazi band. Like a Mike McHolgan delivery rather than like a Al Barr delivery. I love Ian McKay's vocals.
McKay has like that thing where like he goes boo boo. It's like that I don't even know how to explain it. It's just
that was good.
I fucking hate that. I hate that style of vocal, and it's people who like can't sing well. They try to sing like that, and
he pretty much sticks to like what he knows. He pretty much sticks to like that guttural kind of like aggressive, like kind of like this, kind of like.
But he gets like
he
he
kind of just sticks to that, and it's fine.
I don't know.
It's good. Actually, it's not good.
But
it's great.
see,
I love it. I think it's amazing.
But Piccolo Pete, he has more of a croon to his voice.
No, he doesn't. It's shit. He's a horror. He's not a good singer at all. He's just not a good singer.
I
mean,
he
tries
honestly,
to be a good singer and is trash.
Neither of them are very good singers.
At least
like,
McKay is not a good singer and doesn't try to be a good singer.
I like Rites of Spring. I like that record.
Dude, oh my God.
It's a solid record.
That's one that I'm glad I did not pick up on vinyl, because that's the vocal delivery of that was just, it's shit. Honestly, it's shit. I
like Rites of Spring a lot.
The music was fantastic. I love the music on that.
Great. It was a great fucking record.
It was amazing. But his vocals are and he sings, and again, I said it before, but he sings in two different annoying ways. And that's what was most mind-boggling to me, because he does not sound the same on Rites of Spring as he does in Fugazi's.
I agree. I totally agree.
But they're both annoying.
Like when I listened to Repeater for the first time a few weeks ago, I thought it was all McKay singing. I didn't even know that guy was in the band, or that there was a second vocalist, because it didn't sound like Rites of Spring. It didn't sound like him at all. So I didn't make that connection until I was reading more about it, and I'm like, oh fuck, it is the guy from Rites of Spring, and there are two vocalists. Like it never crossed my mind. But yeah, Ian McKay, I just can't get into that. But okay. Let's see. So we already played Repeater. So where does this sit for you?
Let's talk about Repeater. Is my 2B. My 2B.
Okay, it's my 4B.
Repeaters
my
are good.
favorite.
It's a good song. It's I love it. It's got a good chorus. It's got a good shoutable chorus, and that's what I alluded to earlier. The fact that they write pop songs that are masked in this post-hardcore sound, because they write pop songs. They write songs that have catchable or catchy choruses that you can like shout out at shows, and that's like a known fact. Like yelling "repeat up," like that's fun. That's exciting. That's nothing wrong with that though. But like, dude, this chorus is very also like At the Drive-In, and it's. I mean, At the Drive-In obviously did it exponentially better, but it's still pretty good here. And there's a lot about this song, more so about the album as a whole. The bass is probably for sure my favorite part of this album. And then,
for sure.
And then for me, it would be Ian MacKaye's vocals, and then drums, and then the guitars. But like bass just takes a kick. The bass is like the best thing about this album as a whole, and this one's cool. It's got a cool drum beat, and then like the bass line's it's amazing.
Yeah, the drum beat too. It's very like tribal sounding, almost like Sepultura. I know I don't think you're very familiar with Sepultura, but it's very like almost tom heavy, and especially in this song, it really kind of highlights that, and I kind of like that. It kind of has a really kind of just interesting beat to it, and then like you said, the bass playing is absolutely killer. They're just locked in so well with one another. But I did think that this particular song, it actually reminded me a lot of early Red Hot Chili Peppers or Faith No More. It kind of had that in its tempo, and the kind of the drumming and everything like that reminded me a lot of those two bands early on. And I thought it was fucking killer, man. I thought this was a good song. It's a really good song.
It's a good song. It's a good song.
Guitar playing, vocals are like my least favorite part of this band for sure, especially the vocals, the worst part. But
both vocalists at least
had I would actually think it would be really cool if they released these records, especially the early records, instrumentals, like the instrumental only stuff.
We're probably going to get like all these little fucking Fugazi cucks are going to be like, oh, well, actually their tour in fucking 1996 was actually all instrumentals, and Ian MacKaye and Piccolo Pete actually didn't say a fucking word. So hold your horses' buttholes, relax. So yeah, I would also like to hear just like the instrumental parts, but God, dude, Piccolo Pete is so awful.
I like him.
Oh,
I like him.
I cannot even believe that you like that. It's so bad. I can't get over it. I won't.
Well, what do you think lyrically about this song? What do you got on this one?
So, like, this is a highly, like, political band. And political not in, like, actual politics per se, but just very in-the-box ideas. They're never really thinking, like, super out-of-the-box stuff. It's very, very dumbed down, very basic stuff. And the idea of repeater being like a cyclical cycle, and then also like a gun that repeats itself. That a repeater gun is just a gun you don't have to reload after every fucking round. You just shoot, go. So there's all these little things to it. It's cute, whatever. But this one, I don't know. There's a lot of references here being made to things like imprisonment and drug dealing, both of which are presented as a sort of way of life, and eventually statistic. But it's a little bit of a stretch, I think. And it's kind of written to be up its own ass. Like this, and then Ian MacKaye's for sure up his own ass. But I think this song specifically is the most up its own ass on the album.
I agree that MacKaye is kind of up his own ass, for sure. In the band and kind of outside the band, it seems. But who knows? We don't know the guy. But yeah, no, this to me, or at least what the band has said, this song is about local gun violence in Washington, D.C., and how, kids are dealing drugs at a young age, and they're essentially killing each other over these ridiculous drugs. And this is his like social commentary on it, and talking about how it's all cyclical, just like a repeater. You constantly, the cycle's repeating itself, and, that kind of stuff. I don't know. The lyrics, I agree with you on the lyrics. I don't think there's anything super deep. It's all pretty surface level stuff. The only song, there's only one song on this record I feel that like tells us like a personal story, and that's the last song.
The last song, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Otherwise, it's all pretty like environmental stuff, corporations, they're destroying the environment and a little bit of drug stuff here and there. Otherwise, yeah, it's not as deep as I was expecting. Another thing, like I thought, maybe like when I heard the music, I thought, okay, maybe people love the lyrics, and that's why this band is so beloved. But then reading the lyrics, I'm like, okay, this can't be why people love this band. I mean, it's fine, it's not bad at all, but it's not nothing that blows my mind or really makes me think. Unless maybe I'm like 15, 16 years old. But I mean, otherwise, yeah, it doesn't do much for me.
I agree. I really tried to like get into here and think, dude, like maybe this guy like has seen some shit, and he probably has, like from that DC area. Like he's probably seen a lot of shit. But then he throws out a song like Greed, and Greed's my 6B. But like lyrically, all I wrote one word, and lyrics I wrote just greed. Like it's so superficial. It's so fucking. It's so like not deep. It's so basic. It's so dumb. Like this is what
but
we're
maybe
clamoring
that was
over?
intentional though. But maybe that was intentional. Like,
but that's all their songs there. None of their songs are deep
or
anything. There's like 2 songs in this entire album that could even be considered deep. Otherwise, it's just superficial after superficial after superficial, and that's coming off of C-Fisted Find, and then before two beats off, both of which, okay, I guess at best. But yeah, this band is this band was a letdown.
Disappointing.
This band was a letdown.
Absolutely.
And that's not to say, and that's not to say that I hate this band, because I think there's some really good stuff here that I want to get in the vinyls, that I want to listen to more, that I really, really like. And like I said, I love the idea of this band being like one of the greatest punk jam bands of all time. Because I think they can be, and I think they maybe are, because at their best are their instrumentals, and when no one's fucking talking, when they're just letting it go, when letting it slide, letting everything just kind of feel itself out, and just exploring new genres, but they never really get into it that well. And so it's I don't know. This is a cool jam band, but I like Ian MacKay's vocals, but I wish nobody would sing ever.
Same here.
Even like the later albums where people talked about like how great they were at exploring different genres of like dub music and psychedelic music. I don't get that. It's like, what are you talking about? This is just the same fucking thing that we've heard 15 fucking times.
The dub thing too. I remember reading things like, oh, there's a dub influenced song, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of stoked on this. Like, I'm excited to hear it, and then it comes along, and I'm like this is not. I mean, maybe there's some dub influence, but man, you got to really be looking for it. You got to already have that bias in your mind, like that this was influenced by dub music or whatever, or like you said, psychedelic. Like, I don't get it, man.
At least like
I really don't.
At least like Bad Brains legit did a fucking reggae song and threw a reggae song and they mashed up in between 2 highly aggressive punk songs.
Yeah.
And so there was no ifs, ands, or buts. Like they did that. And then after hearing that reggae song, then you could hear tinges of influence on their other punk songs. But no, there's no
or even
there's no
like
progression here.
Like the Clash. Like you can obviously hear the inspiration of the reggae, the dub in the Clash's music. Yeah, they're not like aggressive punk like Bad Brains are, but you can hear it in their more punk influenced songs.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, this band and Fugazi, I don't get it. But
the
whatever.
Fugazis.
The Fugazi. What's your 1B then?
Merchandise.
Why?
Merchandise.
Why
Boss.
is that?
Dude, fantastic bass line. Contrast like the guitar off strokes, those little ska strokes. Love it.
Yeah. And
then when the chorus hits, dude, that's like the catchiest chorus on the album, aside from just yelling repeater. Repeat up. But this is a perfect song.
This is my 6B, but that chorus that is very anthemic sounding. It's catchy, and that bridge, the bridge in this song is very pop punk, and that's probably why this is your 1B.
It's probably why you hate it, because Ian MacKay sings on this one.
No, this is my B. I did put Ian sings lead on this one, and he's very annoying in parts. That's what I put on this particular song, because he is.
I cannot fucking believe that you dig like Peixoto over MacKay, honestly, because MacKay does the same thing. Like there's no range in him. At least Peixoto like tries to have different range, and he tries to actually sing. It's just bad. But at least like he tries. But like MacKay just does the same kind of thing over and over. And it's solid.
Yeah,
It
and
matches the music always.
It doesn't. No,
Always.
dude, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. It really, it takes me out of the music so much when his vocals come in at times, or a lot of the times. It's annoying, man. It's annoying. But and on this particular song too, I think they utilize the palm mutes really well in the verses as well. And then like we talked about, it transitions so well. That palm mute transitions so well into the chorus. I think this is a solid song.
Yeah.
Absolutely solid song.
It's 1B.
Well, it's not. It's not. So let's play. It's the 6B. My 6B. So let's play a little bit of merchandise from the Fugazi's. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Merchandise from Fugazi. All right, there you go. Merchandise from Fugazi. That main guitar riff too. It sounds so much like the Refused song. What is it? I think it's Summer Holidays versus Punk Routine. I think it's like almost identical. I think it's that song. I have to double check, but I think it's that song. But that riff is identical, off of "The Shape of Punk to Come" off that record.
That makes
Did
sense.
you pick up that at all or no?
No, I mean I've only listened to "The Shape of Punk to Come" when we did the episode. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't listen to it regularly just because I forget about it. But I should listen to it now after listening to the Fugazis and hear like the similarities, but then also hear of how this could have been better.
Yeah, seriously. At least listen to not just "The Shape of Punk to Come," but listen to the one before it, "Fanning the Flames of Discontent." I mean, those two records right there are just straight up much better Fugazi, way better Fugazi.
Because even like
There's
in
some killer
Repeater,
shit on there.
even the song Repeater, like that shouting chorus, like yelling Repeater is fine, right? But then like thinking of just Pattern Against User, that doom hey, like that hey part is so much more. It kicks so much harder than anything in Repeater, and just that one little part.
Oh yeah.
But that one little part wouldn't exist without like Fugazi's Repeater, but it still kicks harder than anything on
That's
Repeater.
true. Oh,
So
man,
like give credit where credit is due, but also acknowledge the fact that it's not the greatest, like by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. Another band, we didn't really touch upon too much, that I feel was very influenced by Fugazi is Turnstile. There's a lot of stuff in Turnstile that reminds me of this Fugazi record. And I don't know if you necessarily agree with it, but I feel it's more of an inspiration from Fugazi than Refused or At the Drive-In.
I mean
But they just kind of throw their own spin on it.
That's for sure stemming from like the hardcore aspect of that Fugazi's trying to portray, because like Minor Threat as a band, I listened to them again like yesterday. What day is it? Monday?
Yeah.
No, Saturday night I listened to them again, and like they're really good. They were fucking great, and they just had the one fucking album, but
yeah,
it's just bland like punk rock. It's just bland stuff. It doesn't really go anywhere. Nothing happens, but there are like parts of it that are really, really, really good. And that like perfectly translated to Fugazi. And again, Rites of Spring, like that was a really good band that I think is a perfect album, to be honest, if you took the vocals out. That's the one thing. But you mix them together and like you literally get Fugazi. Like if somebody was very familiar with Minor Threat and the Rites of Spring album, and said, hey, what does Fugazi sound like? And you said, it sounds like a mashup of both of those things. That is literally what this sounds like.
But Rites of Spring is more punk. It's more of a punk record than this is.
But Minor Threat's more punk than any of them. Minor Threat's more aggressive punk than any of them.
No,
but
I
there
agree.
are parts there are
agree.
parts to Minor Threat that get into that like kind of like chuggy, choppy, like post-hardcore sound. Whereas Rites of Spring, there are a lot of parts to Rites of Spring album that get into like a poppy realm that kind of slow things down and get more melodic.
Get more melodic, more ballady at points. I mean,
I don't know. Fugazi's just they're fucking fine. They're so fucking fine. It's ridiculous. And then I even went back and listened to Husker Du. So I listened to them before. When we first started collecting the vinyls, I got a bunch of Husker Du albums, and they'll sell for a pretty good amount of money too.
from that Ramones lot you got?
Yeah.
And Elvis Costello and shit?
Yeah. There's a bunch of Husker Du, and everyone always said like, oh, like you talk about post-hardcore, like you can't talk about post-hardcore without Husker Du. Like, okay, I get it. Yes. But Husker Du couldn't help themselves as opposed to writing to like horrible 80s ballad shit, because that's what they did. They were like the original post-hardcore kids for sure, but they still wrote shitty 80s music. And Husker Du it's trash. It's fucking trash. Honestly, music.
I've never, I mean, I know the band, but I've never heard their music.
God damn, they're awful. I don't care. They're fucking awful. And I tried to listen to them again this week. I even just did like their top 5 or 6 songs on Spotify. It's just trash music. And they're like the originators of like the post-hardcore sound that like would eventually become like Fugazis and At the Drive-Ins and The Refused. But God, it's just this genre should start at like At the Drive-In. I don't give a fuck. It really should. Don't care.
Even early At the Drive-In is better than this record. It really is. But whatever. We play merchandise. What do you have lyrically on this one?
I mean, obviously this is like a dig at consumerism, and that's what's happening here. I guess now will be like a better time than ever to get into Ian MacKay's entire concept of bootlegging and consumerism, because this was like Fugazi and Discord Records and Ian MacKay never liked to sell shirts. They didn't sell T-shirts because that was another body they had to hire, like at a merch table, to sell shirts. They just had to pay this person to sell shirts, and that's just more overhead in essence. And so they never really sold like anything. But then they'd also like shut down bootleggers. And there was I didn't know until this week. This is all like new to me. But I guess there was a kind of sanctioned but not sanctioned infamous T-shirt that said like, this is not a Fugazi T-shirt. And
yeah, I saw that.
And it made a ton of money. And eventually, like, Ian MacKay couldn't like shut it down. And so he called the guy who was doing these shirts and like basically told him like, hey, I don't care if you do it, but like, don't be a dick about it. What you should be doing is, instead of sending me royalties, you should be sending the royalties to whatever like charitable organization you want to in the Boston area. And the guy like told him straight up like, okay, I will do that. And then eventually did send like a lot of money, X amount of dollars or percentages, to like a local women's shelter in like the Boston area. And that was cool. But I think that's like the only time Ian MacKay ever like allowed something to happen. Because then remember Forever 21 just a couple of years ago, and we talked about it too on the pod. They were selling bootleg Minor Threat shirts. Yeah,
Minor Threat, Misfits, all that shit.
But the one that they shut down quick was the Minor Threat, because Ian MacKay does not allow this kind of shit. He does not he won't have it.
I do like aspects of the going full DIY. Like he's really kind of, or the band really has doubled down on, not allowing certain things and not playing shows just for the money. I do respect that, but then at a certain point, it's like it gets a little obnoxious. Honestly, like you're kind of up your own. I don't know, kind of up your own ass in a way. Like I said, I don't know the guy. We don't know the guy at all, but at a certain point, it goes past the point of humbleness and becomes kind of pretentious and kind of maybe annoying. I don't know.
It is a fine
I hate kind
line.
of saying it though. I hate saying it because he probably is a nice guy and people do speak so highly of him. But then I don't know. Coming into this so new and fresh, it does seem a little annoying at times.
I think especially because like the whole straight edge thing. Like straight edge is just I mean, from what we know of straight edge, and it's just like high school, like kids in high school that were straight edge. It was just so stupid. Like you're not even old enough to fully understand what like straight edge means, what addiction means, like how it affects families and stuff. So there's like a lot of like growing up to do to just integrate into society with alcohol and drugs. And like alcohol is such a part of like humankind, human nature. Like we drink. It's just something we've been doing for thousands of years. And to just completely say, no, I'm not doing it. Like, I don't know. I find that weird, to be honest. I find it weird. It's bizarre. It really is, because it's just such a part of our bonding as humans.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus gave wine to all his fucking homies, for God's sakes. Come on.
Yeah, 2,000 years ago. Yeah, he did. So we know it dates at least back 2,000 years.
So it's I respect it because he's been doing it for so long, and he's been like, I don't know, and then like his integration into the whole Riot Girl thing, and everyone kind of accused him of like appropriating that movement and putting himself in there just to like monetize it. Like I see that because like the Riot Girl thing has nothing to do with Fugazi or men in general. It's something completely different. But then he produced like the first Bikini Kill EP or album, and everyone was kind of like, why are you even integrating yourself into this? Like, why are you doing this? But because he had like priors of like anti-establishment stuff, he kind of got away with it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a skeptic in me that looks
also,
at this with like a skeptical eye.
But then also, like, the whole straight edge thing. I mean, the whole straight edge like hardcore scene is very gatekeeperish. It's a lot of the people in that scene are fucking assholes, like straight up assholes. I mean, I knew some of them growing up. I mean, in high school for me, I refused. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything. I was straight edge, except I wasn't vegetarian. That was really it. I mean, otherwise I refused to do it because I had my own shit that I didn't want. There was a reason why I didn't do it in high school, and I didn't start drinking until I was like 20 years old. And then I started to, by that time I was like, okay, I'm not the person that I'm trying to, I'm my own person. That's kind of what I realized, like, I'm my own person. I'm not going to fall into this addiction. I'm not going to do this or that. Like, I know myself better than that. And then I kind of grew out of that. Like, I feel like the straight edge movement, it's something that most people grow out of, unless you're just doing it for the image. I feel it gets to the point where you're just doing it for the image, and that's it, to keep up with with something that people know you as. And I feel like that's a lot of what these old straight edge guys are. They're just doing it to keep up with that old image that they were a part of when they were 19 years old. And that's kind of annoying.
I agree.
I mean, even you didn't really drink in high school or do anything in high school. As far as I remember, you didn't. And
no,
actually quite a few of our friends never really drank or did anything in high school. It
that
just
was
wasn't
because
part of
like
our thing.
I mean, honestly, we were busy doing
We're
other
busy
things.
doing stupid shit, but
doing other illegal activities and tearing up lawns and shit. But
we did a lot of trespassing when we were kids.
A lot of trespassing, yeah.
A lot of it. But I don't know. I never really surrounded myself with people who drank. And when I did, I let them do their things. I used to go to concerts and shows all the time in high school. Kegers and stuff and warehouse shows, but I never got into it.
Don't ever forget, like junior, I think it was junior or senior year. I can't remember. I think it was junior year. Like ditching school with.
I used to ditch with them sometimes.
But like the first time I did it, I only did it like 2 or 3 times because it was boring. And then we drove. It had to have been junior year then. And we drove behind Stater Brothers, and then they smoked, and I didn't smoke. And after like 20 minutes, I was just kind of like, is this all we're gonna do? This is it? Like, this is what we do. I said, okay. And I walked back to school. I was like, this is fucking dumb, dude. This is so boring. Like, at least at school I can sit down. Like, fuck me, man. This is so boring. So I mean, yeah, for sure. Like the straight edge community is very gatekeepy, like you said, because if you are not 100% like straight edge, you're not part of that community, which is fine. Like if you're not a part of the community, then don't pretend to be part of the community. But there's got to be like a gray area. And I feel like with Ian MacKaye, there was, from what I've read, again, we're still new to this, but it seems like there was never a gray area with him. It was always just like, no.
Yeah, and speaking
but then you get like the last song. The last song is like the most like Shut the Door. That's the most like empathetic thing that I've read about him the entire time that we've been doing this.
Right? Yeah, I felt the same way. And like we were talking about off the pod before we started recording, for being a band that's so influential, there's not that much written about the band. So the little bit that we're reading about Ian MacKaye, it's not in a very positive light, or more in kind of like a neutral kind of way. Like there's nothing overtly positive or overtly negative about him. So it kind of seems like we're basing our opinion on him with our experiences with straight edge people and people in that scene. And maybe that's unfair. I don't know.
It is a little unfair.
Whatever. I don't know.
Because I do like massively respect the fact that he's been offered like millions to play shows for record contracts, and he's every single time was just nah. I'm good. And
Yeah.
and like if it was a band that released one album, if it was like a Rites of Spring type of thing, or even if like it was a Minor Threat thing without Fugazi, and they were like making these claims about like being offered millions for a recording contract, and they said no, I may not believe it, but because Fugazi is so like wildly respected in the music community and like in the community in general, like people just fucking at least respect Fugazi, and I do respect Fugazi.
Yeah, I
they're
do
great,
too.
but I do respect them. But I
Even
do,
though we're talking shit on him, we still do respect him. So.
yeah. But like that's fucking dope. Like and then they got offered, I mean, supposedly like a lot of money to headline like Lollapalooza, and
Yeah.
like numerous times like Coachella and all these other massive festivals. And you know, according to online scripture, Ian McKay's only response was, "Will tickets be $15 or less?" And if the answer was no, then nah, fuck off.
I know, it's fucking wild.
Like I still don't know if I love that or think it's so annoying. I don't know.
But I mean, in today's standards, it doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, in the early '90s, mid '90s, doing a show for $5, that was very doable. Like, even for a popular band, that was you can still do a show for $5 or $10. I remember, I think you and I were talking about this a couple months ago. Nirvana or Kurt Cobain did an interview doing an interview, and somebody asked him about Madonna's tour and how she was charging $30 for a show, and he was like blown away that she was charging $30 for a ticket.
That's insane.
And that blew my mind, because it's like, even in the early 2000s, a Madonna show was going to be at least $70. I mean, I fucking saw Metallica in 2008. And I paid fucking $75 for that fucking ticket. That was the most I've ever spent for a concert ticket.
That's like $150 in today's times.
Exactly. And
Maybe not
and for like, and if the band still has that mentality, they're never gonna play a show again, because there's no tour no promoter, no venue is gonna charge $5 to get into the venue. I mean, the band would literally lose thousands and thousands of dollars if they go on a $5 tour, or
that's
even
the thing
a $10
too.
tour.
Like
because they'll have to pay the promoters.
Exactly. People got to eat, dude. You got to pay security. You
Yeah.
got to pay the guy the janitor to clean the fucking porta potties. Like you got to pay the guy to deliver the porta potties. Like everyone's got to make their money. And if you're worried about like ticket prices, then like everyone needs to make their money. And then if you want ticket prices to go down, that means you as the band that is headlining is going to make the least amount of money, besides like the promoters who the band probably hates. But yeah, that means like the band is going to be making less money. But regardless, there's no fucking way a festival is going to charge less. At minimum, it's got to be $25. Like and that's like with the band making no money. There's too many people.
You're totally right. Even if they play in a small venue, like Glass House size venue, less like 1,000-seat venue or less, 800-seat venue, the tickets are going to be at least $25-$30. Like, just it's financially, it doesn't make any sense to do it any less. But what do we know? What do we know?
Know everything, baby boy.
So merchandise, we talked about that one. Do we have anything else on this one?
No, that's it. That's all.
Okay, so my 1B is oh my god, Sieve-Fisted Find.
Sieve-Fisted Find.
Fucking I never know it's
Yeah.
But this song is this one is sung by Pidgeotto on vocals, or Piccolo P, whatever you want to call him. I don't know. Picciotto, I don't know.
I think it's like Italian probably. It's like Picciotto. It's like that.
Yeah, you did that finger thing,
I did with my hands. You didn't see it, but I did it with my hands.
I did it. I just did it too. It starts with that cool little guitar riff, but when that bass hits, oh dude, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so
That
low,
bass
it's so
line hits.
burpy.
Oh, it's so
fucking
good.
great.
And at points it's just fast, it's aggressive. The drums just go along so well with everything. Ah, dude, it's great. And normally I don't really like a lot of tom heavy drums, but the way he does it on this particular song it's solid. It's fucking solid. I really, really dig this song. Does this one sit as a B for you?
No, and it's only because of the
Not
vocals. Not at all.
Really? You really can't stand his vocals? That's
I
insane
cannot.
to me.
I probably won't even ever buy this album because of the vocals.
Oh my! You really would not buy Repeater?
I don't think I would. Even if it was like
Wow.
$16, like I don't know if I could. I really don't know if I could.
I mean, I think had this been maybe like 5 or 6 days ago, I wouldn't have bought this on the vinyls. But because I've listened to it, I've listened to this album maybe 5 times this week, and just getting into the lyrics and getting more into the history of the band. That was like the reason why I bought this record, and it was like $18. It was less than $20 for this record. So
See, it's hard because like no matter what, I'll listen to our album of the week minimum 4 times. Just once to begin with, once in like the succession of going through the albums in chronological order, and then one for like a lyric, and then one for a music. So no matter what, I'm going to listen to even the worst of albums 4 times. And inevitably, they will grow on me, and they will grow on me after we're done because we talked about it, and there's like a nostalgia factor to it. But dude, I really cannot get over the vocals. I really can't. I just can't.
I just can't believe that you like McKay's vocals more than him. That really honestly blows my mind.
But like it doesn't make any sense though, because McKay's vocals they're like generic punk vocals that we've heard 1,000 times. So the fact that you hate them doesn't make any sense.
It's more
basic.
No, it's I don't know. I guess I can't explain what I don't really like about it. I tried explaining it, but I don't know. I guess it doesn't make sense. But
at least like your boy tries to sing. He's a shit singer, but at least he tries to sing. McKay just does the same thing. And the difference between Minor Threat and this one,
that doesn't make it
marginal.
better. That makes it worse.
I know, but like you shouldn't hate it though. You should at minimum.
Terrible.
You should think it's okay. But he's not.
It takes away from
singer.
the music so much at times.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna play a little bit of this song, and then we'll get into the lyrics, and then we'll go from there. So here it is. Sieve Fisted, dude.
Sieve Fisted.
Find. There we go. Fugazi. It's so crazy to me. I mean, putting the vocals aside, because you claim you hate them.
Hate them.
Just the music in this is so good with the playing on the hi-hats and the big heavy power chords hitting in during like the choruses or like certain parts of the song. Dude, that high guitar riff, it's just high guitar part is so good.
I love the music in this one. I really do. Like the bridge part with just a guitar, like that's super dope. That's amazing. But it's just the vocals, and like throughout the song, like everyone's kind of like doing their own thing, and it's totally different, but it meshes really well together. And even like the lyrics, this is one of my favorite songs.
No, I think lyrically this is. It's kind of nice seeing them talk about something that's not like anti-capitalism, environmental stuff. I mean, this is like a little bit more personal with the drug stuff, which is I like that about. I like when they get more into that.
It's fine.
So, yeah. I mean, they do talk about heroin. I mean, it's interesting that they focus mainly just on heroin rather than anything else. But I guess that in the late '80s, that and crack were like the big deadly drugs. But
this was cool. Like the opening line of like, "Here comes a problem wrapped in a solution," right? The problem being addiction, and the solution being heroin. Like tied up in a little bag, like it's tied, it's wrapped in solution. And so like that cyclical path that ties into like the whole repeater motif, that's solid. That's fucking fantastic writing.
Well, but even that whole verse. So after those 2 lines, it's ugly as it's strapped on. Like you tie the tourniquet on before you shoot up, and then twice as hard to get behind. So it's twice as hard to feel that same high from the first time. Like it gets harder to reach the high every time you do it. So it adds to the repeater concept, I guess, of the title of this record. So I think that entire verse right there, it's fucking solid.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The song is really, really good. I love this song. But I can't get over the vocals. I just can't. I won't.
Oh, boy. I still don't get it. Even listening to this song again right now, I was just thinking, like, dude, this is so much better than Ian McKay's vocals. It's leaps and bounds better than Ian McKay's.
So, like, if you would have come at me and said, like, I think Ian McKay's vocals are boring, I got it. I get it.
They are boring, though.
But to say they're bad?
They're bad. They're boring. They're bad and boring.
They're basic. They're run of the mill.
They're-
This is punk. This is like half the punk bands that have come out of the 90s and 2000s. Boring. I get it. I'll give you that. But bad? No. I
Yes,
can't
bad.
give you that. I can't give you that. I won't.
Ah, dude,
Can't.
it's like jarring sometimes the way he sings.
But like we've heard these punk vocals 1,000 times in 1,000
And it's not
other
good,
bands.
and it's fucking terrible.
They're not fucking terrible. They're not
It's
fucking good
terrible.
by any
Ian
stretch
McKay
of the
is
imagination,
terrible.
but they're not terrible.
Oh, Ian McKay is terrible.
It's like watching like a mediocre Keanu Reeves movie. Like it's not bad. It's okay.
oh, it's bad.
I get it.
It's bad.
It's all right.
That's a
fine.
terrible example, dude.
How is that a terrible example? Keanu Reeves is a horrible actor that plays in pretty damn good movies, and so at worst, even that movie that he played with Sandra Bullock, the
What?
romantic comedy.
Did he
Wasn't
really
bad.
do a movie with her?
Yeah. Oh my god, dude, you're the worst.
What movie? I don't know what movie that is. I
can't remember what it's called.
How am I the
But
worst?
it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It wasn't for sure.
How am I
would
the
never
worst?
say it was
Because
good.
I don't know this movie that Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock were in.
How do you not know that movie?
The fuck out of here. All right. So do we have anything left on this particular song? Should we move on?
That's it. That's it.
All right. Then what's your 2B?
I thought we. Yeah, repeater was. My
Oh no,
2B.
you did yeah, because your 2B was repeater.
Yeah.
So
Repeater.
my 2B is Greed. We touched upon this one because the lyrics are just they're stupid.
So
but-
stupid.
But the I like the music, even the vocals. I do enjoy because Ian and Piccolo Pete they share vocals and they sing together, and it sounds surprisingly good together. I do like it. It's not until like you get to toward the latter part of the song where they kind of split off and do their own thing. But I do like that they sing together because they don't do that. I don't think they do that very often.
No, it's usually
Um,
like shouting parts if they ever sing together. It's just like shout, like one person's doing a chorus and the other one just shout, like repeater. The other one's just shouting something in the back.
It's just like, dude, you have this band that is clearly influential. You're making it. You're honestly, they're making a lot of money. You know, after this record, they're making a pretty decent living, especially being so DIY, and yet
See,
they
like,
don't
I
try to.
don't think they made a
What?
lot of money. I think they made just enough to like comfortably live. Because
But
you look at like,
when you look at the venues that they were playing, though, they were playing pretty decent sized venues.
but they made
especially in the
ticket prices be
mid-90s,
like
mid-late
$10, which is coming out of
doesn't
their
matter.
pocket. But that's coming out of their
It doesn't-
pocket. What do you mean doesn't matter? That's coming out of their
They're-
pocket.
I mean, okay, this is the mid to late '90s. They're charging $10 a ticket for 1,000-seat venue. That's 10 grand right there, just on ticket sales.
yeah,
you
and
know.
the venue's going to take minimum probably half to like 75% of that.
Okay, they'll take.
So
they'll
divided
take
by
probably-
4, $3,000 divided by 4. I mean, yeah, they're making a comfortable living, but they're not
Say-
like
well, say-
rock
okay.
stars here.
No, okay. Say that the venue promoters take it. Say a $10,000 seat, $10,000 they make one show. The venue promoters everything take $6,000, so that's $4,000 split between 4 guys. $1,000 a show, and at this time in the '90s, they were playing like 150 dates a year, sometimes 200 dates a year. Those are a lot of shows. So you're looking at at the end of the year, they're probably each member's probably walking away with maybe 70, 80K, which
A
is
year?
a lot a year, which is
okay,
a lot in,
minus,
in the
minus
mid-90s.
taxes, minus expenses, so they're making like 40, 50K a year. That's not rock star status by any
I
means.
honestly,
That's
I honestly
silly
feel like
boy
they were
talk.
there. I think what we're saying right now is very conservative, like extremely conservative. And in the mid '90s, that was a lot.
Regardless,
That was a lot
I
of
think
money.
I don't think anybody, if anybody's pulling in money, it's Piccolo Pete and Ian McKay. They're not pulling in more than 70K a year, and then again,
But-
minus taxes and expenses, they're probably like taking home 45K a year. And yeah, that's solid money for the '90s, but that's not rock star money by any stretch of the
Well, of
imagination.
course, it's not. They're not
Like what?
millionaires.
I mean, they're pennies to the dollar of rock star money.
But they're also think about it this way too. You know, Ian owns Discord Records. They everything is done through his label, or at least maybe their label or whatever. So you have all that money coming in too. So they have the songwriting royalties. They have They own everything about
Song royalties
Fugazi.
to what? They're not loaning their songs out to commercials. They're not pressing 1 million copies of Repeater.
No, but what I'm saying is no.
They're not
But
making
what I'm
a lot
saying
of
is,
money.
but
There's
they're
no money
selling
to be
records.
made.
What did Repeater sell? Like 500,000 copies?
It got like
Something like that?
120,000 pre-orders, but like I don't know if it sold to 500,000. Maybe eventually.
Okay, so
it did.
120,000 times, let's say, even say 120,000 records were sold just pre-order, and say you were selling each record for $5, that's $600,000 right there.
Okay, how much did it cost to make those records? What do you think?
I'm just saying.
Like, we just pulling these numbers out of thin
I'm
air.
just saying.
Like, come on.
No,
These
I'm just saying.
expenses, guy.
But like I said, no, you're not letting me finish. Like I'm saying, I'm doing this on a very conservative level. Like just the pre-order itself for, I think it was this record, 500,000. Say $5, which is very cheap even for a CD at the time in the mid '90s. You know, you're making $600K right there. Yeah, you could probably take half of that out for the production costs of the actual record. Well, they didn't even promote or market it. So, I mean, you don't even have to factor that part in. So, you know, the production costs, you know, pressing it to vinyl, you know, the CD costs, the tape costs probably, you know, cut that in half. So what, 300K right there, split between 4 people. You know, what is that, like 70,000? Wait, 70,000? Between $70,000 and $75,000 right there?
Yeah, sure.
Per person
75,
within 1 year on top of the touring, which we also conservatively said each member was making roughly probably $45K. They're making over $100,000 a year,
which means they're taking home almost half of that after taxes and expenses.
So still,
and
okay,
don't forget.
So
that
okay, so half
the
of
time
that is
they're recording
60K.
the album, they're not doing anything.
They're only recording the
They're
album for
taking
2 months out of the year.
No, they were not. They were taking like 4 or 5 months off. And some of these later albums, they were taking almost like a year off.
Okay,
They're
but
doing
it doesn't
nothing
matter.
except
But
like
it doesn't-
collecting royalties. Like you thought that these guys are like making buckets of money. No, they were not.
I'm not saying they're making
a
buckets
good
of money.
living.
I'm just saying
but they're no
making,
different than like a
I
guy that
never-
owns a small dental practice. If
I
that
never
even.
said that they were making like the level of Nirvana
Yeah, like-
or Pearl Jam or
like,
shit like that.
You're
Because of
making
course
it
they
seem like
weren't.
these guys are going to retire off Repeater. Like, what are you crazy?
No,
No way.
I
Not
never
even
made
were
that claim. I
made.
never
No
even
way.
implied that. I never
You
implied
did.
that. I
You're
never
making it
claimed
seem
that.
like
No,
they're
I
making a
didn't.
bunch of money. They're not
I
making a
did
bunch of
not.
money. Yes, you did.
I said they're making a good living, like a very good living.
A decent. What is a decent and a good? No, they're making.
Of course, it's subjective. Yeah, I
No,
understand.
these guys specifically made it so that they are comfortable living, but they're not buying a house in cash. They still have a mortgage. Like, what are you talking about here? Hey, come on, you're being silly. That's the DIY ethic here. I dig it. Yeah, you're being a little silly.
Okay,
You're being a little silly.
how do
That's
we
fine,
even go on to this tangent right here?
Because you're being silly. Because you think like these guys.
No,
These guys
that-
make a fuck bunch more.
No,
Like,
but
they
what?
didn't.
But
What are
what?
you talking
What,
about? They didn't make a bunch
what
of money.
spurred that? What spurred that argument? What started that argument?
I don't know. Probably greed.
I don't even
'cause you're
remember.
greedy.
I mean, we were talking about this song, or we just started talking about it.
That's my 6B.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, fuck it. Let's play a little bit of it, and
Yeah,
then
it's good.
why the fuck not? So here's Greed from the Fugazis. There you go. There's Greed from Fugazi.
Pretty nice
And
song.
That bass line too it's wonky, but it's so good. Love it.
There's a lot of cool parts to this song. Like I like the aggression overall, and like just repeating the lines throughout. It's like that's very punker of them to do. And then like the barking greed, that's funny. I giggled, I laughed, I had a good time.
I totally agreed. And the stop and agreed. Yeah. the stop and go in this song is done really well. To the point, and the parts that are heavy are just like some of the heaviest moments on this entire record. They just this is a solid fucking song.
It's goody.
It really is. And obviously the lyrics, self-explanatory. There's not much there. It's about greed. Greedy corporations. Things like that.
Everyone's greedy.
Everyone's greedy. So do we have anything else on this song? Or are we good?
No, that's it.
All right, then what's your 3B?
3B. I don't have a 3B. Where is my 3B? Oh, Shut the Door. The last track. Shut the Door.
Oh, okay. All right. That's not a B for me, but it's okay. Let's get into that. What do you got on this one?
It's dramatic. It's bass heavy, right? Like the bass is super heavy sounding and it's constantly noodling. And I love the stops and lead-ins like by the bass. So like the music will stop, and before it goes in, the bass will just throw like a doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and then go into like whatever riff they're going to do. And it happens over and over and over and over. And I love that. But there's so much going on in this song that it's all about like layering. And overall, this album is layered very nicely because there's never like a true rhythm guitarist. It's more like the rhythm guitarist is playing something that's low and fuzzy, whereas the lead guitarist is playing something that's high and like obnoxious. And so there's never like a Malcolm Young to the Angus Young. It's just more like two lead guitarists playing, just one playing high and one playing low. And that's really cool. And that's what this song kind of like perfectly captures. And then like the droning two high note guitar part, that ding, ding, like that thing, flows with the vocals, as does the bass line. And like the distorted rhythm guitar part plays like with the drums. So you're getting like half the band playing with each other and the other half playing with each other, but then also kind of still playing in time and like driving the song forward. I like it. And like the instrumental bridge, dude. The instrumental bridge is just fucking super sick. Let it flow. Let it progress naturally and slowly. No rush. And then like, dude, that bass line is just something you can get behind. You can dance to it.
That the bass has some really amazing parts on this one.
Damn.
Yeah. And I mean the drums groove so well on this particular song. Once again, the fucking rhythm section is the best part of this band. The best part of this record. It's unreal. It's
absolutely
so good.
100%.
I know you're not a huge brand new guy, but their album Daisy, which I eventually want to do on the pod, I think that album is perfection. But that record in particular reminds me a lot of Fugazi, and especially this song. There are moments in this song that I swear to you, brand new lifted off of this song. Like the verses which are not overly heavy, but you can kind of hear this, like you can kind of feel this slow build. But once the chorus hits, it comes in really strong with the screams and everything like that. That's a lot of what Brand New were doing on that Daisy record from 2009. And I thought that was
very, I mean, that's very interesting. Like the only Brand New I've ever listened to in its entirety is Deja. So that's like the only thing I know by Brand New. And not that they have like a ton of albums, but that's all I know by Brand New.
I feel like the album Daisy is the album that's the standout record for them. That they never made a record like Daisy. It was like Nirvana mixed with, now that we've listened to this record, it's like Nirvana mixed with Fugazi mixed with maybe not Refused. I'd say more just Nirvana and Fugazi, but like Nirvana like In Utero Nirvana and stuff like that. There's some amazing moments on that Brand New record, and it truly stands out from everything that they ever put out. Love that album. But anyway,
okay.
Shut the Door. This is also Ian MacKaye on vocals.
I told you to begin with. All of my bangers are Ian MacKaye on vocals.
I know, it's so lame. It's so.
I told you.
Talk about being boring. You know,
he's fantastic. I don't think that he's just okay. I think at worst, he's just a typical, like, hardcore punk singer. But I think he's better than that. I think he's absolutely amazing. I love the way he sings. I love it.
All right. All right.
I think it's amazing. I truly do think it's amazing. Which is weird because I also think that like Piccolo Pete is trash. I think I can't even listen to it. It's awful.
Which is so stupid.
Can't listen to it.
That makes no sense to me. Like, cause at least I can get through the Ian McKay stuff. Like, it's fine. I can get past it. Some of his songs are my bangers. That's fine. But for your outright hatred of Pidgeotto, it makes no sense.
I don't know who the fuck this guy was until this week, and so like for me to hate him that much is strictly because of this album. This is what started it. Was this album?
That's insane.
It just got worse and worse and worse.
All right, so I'm going to play a little bit of "Shut the Door." Then we'll talk about the lyrics and then move on from there.
Don't say a word.
So here it is. Shut the. So here's "Shut the Door" from Fugazi. "Shut the Door" from Sugar Ray. So what do we have lyrically on this one?
I mean, that's a good Sugar Ray song, but this was this was supposedly written about someone who OD'd on heroin, right?
Yeah, one of his friends. Yeah.
It was like his brother's friend or somebody he knew. Not that it makes
somebody
a difference.
He lived with for a brief time too, I think.
Right. But this was, as we like alluded to earlier, this was a fucking weird departure, almost overall, of his entire stance on like drugs, because this was the most empathetic like approach I've ever read about him dealing with something like this. Read him. This was the most like empathetic approach I've ever seen him deal with like addiction and like the pitfalls of it. And he's definitely like anti-drug and obviously and other bad stuffs, but he has a heart. And he can at least empathize and understand like the downward spiral of addiction. I didn't mean to quote stupid 9 Inch Nails there, but it happens sometimes. But yeah, I like this lyrically because like I don't know, everything I know about Ian McKay is just so anti-drugs. But then here he kind of is like understanding.
And he like gives a reason why. Like it's never
bro.
Like this is the only time you see him show like give an explanation why he feels a certain way. This is it's a good song. I don't know why this is probably my 7B because I have I have 7B.
It's a really
so this is my
song.
8B. This is my 8B. I just changed it. This is my 8B now.
All right.
It's a good song.
It's a really good song.
Even though Ian is an annoying singer. But
okay.
Anyway, we're not going to keep arguing over that because we just keep going in circles.
We're repeatering ourselves.
Stupid. One thing lyrically too that kind of goes along with the music on this particular song. I like how in the verses it's the slow kind of trudging along musically, and lyrically it's them like setting up to shoot up the heroin. Yeah. And then once the chorus hits, it gets loud. He screams, and that's the person overdosing. That's them dying right there. I like how they really kind of matched up the music and lyrics and everything like that.
It's great storytelling.
Well done. Yeah, it is. Which honestly it's crazy. You don't see that a lot on here, and that's what I was expecting going into this week of Fugazi. I was expecting more stuff like this. I was expecting an entire record like this. But in all honesty, I was very disappointed in lyrics. Because I could not figure out why people love the music so much. So I thought it was the lyrics. But the lyrics are fine. But lyrically, this is the best song on the record. For sure.
Like, I see why. I mean, I guess I'll save it for my wrap up. But, okay, let's keep going. All right.
So, this is your
record wrap up.
3B, right?
Yeah, 3B.
All right, my 3B is Styrofoam.
Styrofoam. That's my 5B, baby. It's a goodie.
See, this is Ian on vocals.
I know.
There we go.
His song is way better. I get it.
This is like an upbeat punk song because, like I said, they don't do a ton of punk kind of songs. So it's nice when you hear it. This song is pretty heavy on the power chords at times, but they mix it up. Actually mix it up really well with some other wonky kind of guitar parts. I don't want to say winking, but just kind of out there stuff, which is nice. And of course, the bass just sits there so nicely. And then there's even one part, I don't remember exactly the timestamp on it, but there's one part where all the music stops and it's just loudly just playing the bass part. It's just just him by himself. It's like the only bass solo, even though it's not a solo. It's the only part where it's just him, and that's nice. I like
There was
that
like there was a lot of reviews I read, and a lot of, I mean, I didn't go to a lot of like forums on Reddit, but I think I went to like 3. But Lolly, the bass player, is like everybody's favorite part of this band.
Dude,
He's just, like,
It's
Unanimous.
how
Like
good he is.
everybody fucking loves the bass playing on this album, and subsequent albums.
Yeah, every album of theirs, he is the highlight of every fucking album, every song, really.
Yeah.
So you said this is your 5B, right?
Yeah, this is my 5B.
What do you have like musically on this one?
I like the layering of Ian screaming over like the cleaner wrung out guitar chords. I think that's really cool.
Mhm.
Like now we're getting a more aggressive Ian, and I like him, but we're also like kind of contrasting that with like cleaner guitar chords and ringing them out and let everything just kind of like play out, but in like opposite ends of the spectrum here. But this one's just fun, and it is kind of like pop punky at times, which is cool. Like, if you kind of read the lyrics in a certain way, like it's a nice contrast to the theme and sound. And I mean, the way I read the lyrics is just, it's just like sort of like an end of days type stuff. We'll eventually destroy ourselves when there isn't anyone left to fight or prison or rule, much in the same way like we destroy ourselves via like trash and waste. Like we are, as a society, a very self-destructive society, and we're just animals. In essence, like the cheap throwaway styrofoam will last longer than us.
Yeah, yeah.
And we fought so hard in the 80s for styrofoam to go away and not pollute our atmosphere with the CFCs or whatever the fuck it was. But, I mean, styrofoam's going to last almost fucking forever. The styrofoam will last longer than us for sure.
It's crazy.
But it's just
Isn't that weird to
trash.
think about?
It's throwaway trash. Like styrofoam is throwaway trash.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got the pretty much the same thing as you. I mean, this is just an anti-capitalist, hate all corporations because they're everybody but themselves are destroying the environment, and they have to have somebody to blame, and that's kind of what the song is. Really, it's just about the environment and climate change or global warming at the time. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
But
Fuck the
that's the
environment.
underlying issue. So.
Fuck the
Yeah.
whales. Nuke 'em, baby.
All right, let's play a little bit of Styrofoam and then we'll move on. So here it is from Fugazi. There you go, Styrofoam from Fugazi.
Fugazi. Forget about it.
All right, so what's your 4B?
I think my last B. Let me see. No.
You only have 4 Bs? No, you have more than 4 Bs.
No, I had more than 4 Bs, but we've already
Oh.
talked about the other
Yeah, we already
Bs.
talked about them, yeah.
Yeah, so my last B is my 4B, and that's Brendan number 1.
Okay,
Or
that's my
Brendan.
5B.
Brendan 1.
So I think this might be all over. No, there's only 1 B left for me after Brendan 1. There's only 1 B left for me, but we don't have to talk about
Fuck
that one.
else. Let's see what else you have here.
Yeah, my only one other B,
it's-
which we don't have to talk about.
Your other B is reprovisional, huh?
No, it's 2 beats off.
Oh, wow.
It's an Ian song. Look at that.
I
Okay,
know.
see,
I
look.
thought it would be I can't even talk. I can't even say the word. Rap. Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, the Brendan number 1.
Brendan
or
1.
Brendan 1.
Yeah. 5B. So I mean, this is an instrumental. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
instrumental. What do you got on this one?
Great rhythm. Lots of good tom usage here, and it leads to a solid drop. But the guitar comes in heavy and allows like the song to build until we get like a momentary release. So it's not like a drop. It's more like a subtle release. And I like that because we don't always need like a build, drop. But I like the build, little release, build, little release. And that's what like this song kind of does. There's a lot of these little subtle releases. And we don't even realize it's happening until after it's already done. And I
Yeah.
like that. I dig that.
I
I,
like it too.
appreciate
Like,
that.
The buildup is so small that once it drops back into that loop, it's not jarring. Like it doesn't catch you off guard. It doesn't make you think like, well, they should have done something else with that drop. It's just enough buildup to not be annoying and obnoxious. That's what's so cool about it.
It's a
But
good
yeah,
song.
it's very tom heavy, very very tom heavy on the drums.
Love that.
Normally I don't like it. Normally I'm not a tomman when it comes to the drums. I'm a Tom DeLongman, but not a tomman. But yeah, this is a good one. Some good noodling on the guitar as well. but nothing overly wanky. And I don't think they would really be able to pull off a wanky guitar solo anyway.
I don't think they can. I don't think they
Yeah,
have the dexterity and talent to do it anyway.
I don't think so either. But this is a solid one. So should this be our last song to play out on?
Yeah, play it. Play a fucking track.
So here's Brendan 1 from Fugazi. Brendan 1, the instrumental from Fugazi. It has like a very kind of surf tinge to it as well. It's relaxing. It's nice.
There's only like a handful of songs. I might say handful, like 3 or 4 songs that do kind of have a surf tinge to it. One of them is this one, yes.
Solid fucking song. So,
what were you doing while this was playing? Like, I heard you like burp and then choke. Did you burp and choke?
I coughed. No,
you coughed and choked.
I chalked.
You chalked? You choffed. Choked and coughed. Choffed.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh man, I can't believe you heard me do that. I can't believe you heard me.
I hear everything.
Choke, but
Choff.
whatever.
I hear all choffs.
You hear me choff. Okay, so we're pretty much good with all the songs here.
Oh,
So let's wrap it up. Let's give our wrap up our final thoughts. Some might say, and then we'll rate the record according to our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album but give it a shot, and 0 is just the worst thing you've ever heard. So final thoughts and rating, go.
So, put on the spot here. I've never done this before. I don't know what to do.
This is your first time, yeah. After 6 years, this is your first time doing this.
Gulp. So, Fugazi, overall, letdown, for sure. 100% letdown. I thought this was going to blow my fucking mind. I really did enjoy 13 songs a lot, but that was just because of nostalgia, because it's just something that blew my little 9-year-old mind, because I thought the Foo Fighter camp counselor liked Foo Fighters, but it was actually Fugazi, and that was just a weird trip down like memory lane for me. But overall, like Fugazi just never recovered from the name, like the brand, Ian MacKaye. Like, honestly, they're not that good. They're just not. They're not that fucking good. Like, at best, they're a cool kind of like instrumental, punky jam band where they sing sometimes. But even the singing, even though I like Ian MacKaye a lot, it's not like great. It's not like amazing. It just flows well. I think flows well with the music sometimes. So to think that like Fugazi is this untouchable god of music from like the late 80s, early 90s, early 2000s, it's just silly boy talk. It truly is. It's silly boy talk. There are bands that did it better, and just because you did something first does not mean you're the best at it. Yes, I will give credit where credit is due. I respect Fugazi for being kind of like the innovators of it, because I think before them it was just Husker Du, which is fucking trash. And
I really want to listen to that now.
It's so dumb.
Listen to them.
So dumb. Just dude, I just listen to it. This is like the top songs on Spotify at least.
Yeah.
Dumb. So like Fugazi is the band that people like think is like, oh, this is the precursor to like Nevermind, and this is the precursor to like 10, Pearl Jam, and like all the alternative rock. Okay, I see beginnings here. Sure.
Yeah.
But to say like just because this influenced like Nirvana, or just because this influenced Pearl Jam, I'm not a big Pearl Jam fan, but just because this influenced something does not make it better than what it influenced.
No.
And I think that's what we're falling victim to. We're falling victim to just because this is first, therefore it is better. And that is entirely inaccurate. And that's my biggest problem with Fugazi, is they are just, I don't know. They're okay. They high. And honestly, like Repeater, dude, like this, their name mark album, like the album that made them Fugazi, the album that's still talked about to this day, that people still write about as being one of the greatest things that come out of the 90s. I give it 2 out of 3. I'll listen again. Solid 2 out of 3 for sure.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, my final thoughts align with yours very closely. They are overrated, absolutely overrated. They are a band that just because you do it first doesn't mean it's better. And comparing them to Nirvana, especially. I mean, I'm not a Pearl Jam fan either, but comparing them to Nirvana,
Silly boy
I mean,
talk.
even how polished Nevermind is, dude, that album is leaps and bounds better than this record, through and fucking through. It's you want to talk about like the silliest boy talk in the whole world, you know, saying that this is as good if not better than Nirvana is just you have to get your head checked. You know, you probably fell down earlier in the day, and that's why you're saying that. But yeah, overrated. Still good. But I would, in the end, I would rather listen to Refused. I'd rather listen to At the Drive-In. I'd rather listen to the one brand new record that I mentioned earlier, the Daisy record. But this is still a good listen. It's fun. I mean, like I said, I bought it on vinyl. I do enjoy this record, but this record and the other one I bought, Red Medicine, that's all I need. Like I got technically the classic Fugazi, and then I got the more poppy Fugazi, which is not that much different from one another, but I got them both. I don't need anything more than that. And I don't know. With all that being said, after we've talked for almost 2 hours now, I'm gonna give this record a 2 point, not just a 2. I'm gonna give this a solid 2. I'll give this a 2, and I give Red Medicine a 2.25. That's what I get. That's what I got.
Okay.
I feel like that's
buy it.
fair. That's
I'll buy
fair,
it.
right?
Sure.
So that's all I got on the Fugazis, the Fugazis. I don't know. You got anything else?
No, the Fugazi eyes.
I stole that from the Blink 155 guys, because that's what they.
Is that what they said?
Used to say. Yeah, or at least Sam used to say it just to be an idiot. He would call him Fugazi. It was funny.
God, so many people talk about Fugazi. It's unreal.
I don't fucking get it, but whatever. So yeah, thank you all for listening. Keep listening. Tell all your friends and family. You know, give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You know the drill. Go do that. And I don't know. That's it. That's all.
Fugazi.
It's fun.
I don't get it. I know you bought it today because I saw a program. They got rid of it, so obviously you bought it.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. Okay, but number 2 for me is
why'd you spy?
Why you spy me?
Why'd you spy on me? Why did you do that?
Even though you like Piccolo Pete's voices, but that's fine.
Well, I didn't say that. I haven't said that at all.
I know you do because you're a little cut. That's fine though.
You just like to assume things, and you know what happens when you assume things. I think it would be really cool if they released these records, especially the early records, instrumentals, like the instrumental only stuff.
We're probably going to get like all these little fucking Fugazi cucks are going to be like, oh, well, actually their tour in fucking 1996 was actually all instrumentals, and Ian MacKaye and Piccolo Pete actually didn't say a fucking word. So hold your horses' buttholes. Relax. So yeah, I would also like to hear just like the instrumental parts, but